It's the Hamburgers Wearing the Hats is a brilliant Two and a Half Men episode. This is the 17th episode of the first season. It's directed by Andrew D. Weyman. And the only thing about this that's a little bit awkward is that on several occasions we see different characters driving while using car phones. This is 2004. These aren't hands-free mobile devices. Definitely not something they'd get away with showing today. But that aside, it's a brilliant episode. So as always, I will go through the events chronologically and talk about things that I really liked. So there will be huge spoilers from now. The only other thing I didn't like, and it's not really a fault with the episode, but yet again we have no Berta. And I feel like it's been a good few episodes since she's been in it, so I'm really hoping she's in the next episode. I can't remember what the next episode is. But I don't remember her being absent this much from when I used to binge watch the show in like 2009, 2010. So that's a little bit strange and frustrating, but again, not really a fault of the episode. And another thing I love about the episode as a whole is that we get a lot of Jake. Sometimes Jake is just in the odd scene here and there, sometimes he's at the centre of the story, as we have here, and it works really well. So it starts off actually really sweetly with Judith dropping Jake off, and Charlie is interacting with Jake in a way that's really sweet, picking him up, turning him upside down, having fun with him, making Jake laugh. It's really beautiful to see and really helps to set the tone for Charlie's relationship with Jake for the rest of the episode. Judith then demands more money from Alan, and Alan bites back by telling her that he's changing his will. And if he reveals that if he dies after Judith dies, custody of Jake is going to Charlie. Obviously, Judith is not happy about this, but Charlie's kind of glad that Alan has trusted him. But as soon as Judith has left, we learn that it's not true. Alan was just saying it to annoy Judith. And then Charlie becomes really hurt. And I can kind of understand that he'd be hurt because it's his brother. He is essentially helping to raise Jake as it is, and that's not enough for Alan. But at the same time, I completely see where Alan is coming from. Would you rather choose your relatives who have a stable living, a good home, already raising children, or Charlie? So I understand Alan's decisions, but I can understand Charlie's perspective. We then shift to later on, and Evelyn is giving out gifts, and the exchange with Alan and Jake I thought was rather fun and really entertaining. And then, of course, Evelyn learns that she's not going to get custody of Jake if Alan dies either. And again, I understand Alan's reasonings, but she's not happy about it. Alan has some errands to run, and then the rest of the episode kicks in, and it's really moving and thought-provoking from here. We have this really lovely scene with Jake and Charlie outside playing basketball. Now, I don't care about basketball, but I really enjoyed that part of the episode because it was great to see them bonding and interacting. We get to see a side of Charlie's house that we don't get to spend that much time in. That was quite nice. And then Jake rams into Charlie and falls down and ends up basically splitting his head open. Very, very overdramatic because he didn't fall very hard at all, but nevertheless, he is bleeding. So Charlie does a very responsible thing and drives him to the hospital. He doesn't know where the hospital is, but he tries nevertheless. And when he's there, he's completely advocating for the child's care, for Jake's care, and making sure they get seen sooner and making sure he's comfortable and that the doctor doesn't scare him too much. And it's really lovely to see Charlie doing all of the right things and really supporting Jake and being there for him. And of course, what we're seeing here is Charlie being responsible and being a parent in a way that Alan thought he wouldn't be capable of. And of course, the responsibility kind of stops once they leave the hospital because Charlie decides they're not going to tell Alan about the stitches that Jake gets in his head, and they wear hats. There we have part of the episode title, of course, and the hats themselves look okay, but when they both came in the door wearing identical hats, it amused me so much, and I thought it was very entertaining. I don't agree with not telling the father that the child has had an injury and gone to the hospital, but it certainly worked for comedy, and I really enjoyed it. And then, of course, we find Judith discovering the stitches when she's driving Jake home, and she uses the car phone while driving, and I just think don't do that. But other than that, it's a It's a great episode, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Very, very funny, but also very sweet and moving to see Charlie responding to this emergency situation. So, a great episode. Yes, I wish Berta had been in it. She could have had some great remarks about Charlie's lack of ability to parent, and I think she could have had a lot of remarks to Zippy, as she calls Alan. So, missed opportunity. I don't know if there was a specific reason why she wasn't in it, but nevertheless, really thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Definitely one that put a smile on my face, ate the hamburgers, wearing the hats, is very funny, very entertaining, and also quite moving.